Welcome back to podcast episode number 55. My name is Cassandra Mosley. Thank you so much for joining me. I am back doing another episode. I made a commitment to try and catch up on a few episodes, and I am definitely pushing myself to get a few more out for you all. My schedule is changing in about a week or two, and I won't be able to upload, so that's why I'm trying to work ahead now. So this episode today is under rekindling and forgiveness. This is one of my newest ones. And we are talking about forgiving someone who has hurt you, and we are discussing loving someone again. And so the point of view is forgiving someone who hurt you, of course, and then finding how to love again. And this is based upon my own experiences. Some very painful ones, also some good ones, but I really do hope anything that you take away from this episode today is that I hope that this helps you as it has helped me through a lot of tough things. So let's get the introduction. If I sound different, I unfortunately have a sore throat, but I am going to we're going to keep going. In this podcast episode, I share a deeply painful experience of rekindling a special relationship with someone I deeply care for. And the pain of being torn apart ended up becoming our strength and special connection. The pain and the tears turned into joy and the gratitude when I never thought things would get better. In my relationship, it did. These are my personal experiences that I share with you, my audience, today. Alright, main point number 1. The beginning of forgiveness. These are the things that I have used and I still use to this day. The first one is recognize, awareness, understand, process, and life experiences. Under recognize, the first thing that I had to do is understand why I was feeling the way that I was feeling. So I had recognized the reason the person or situation hurt you. Then determine how you know that issue is what caused you the pain to begin with. Some of the reasons you may feel disappointment can be demeaning things being said, hurtful comments, or being made fun of. Under recognize, your goal is to, Under recognize, your goal is to try to figure out why you feel what you feel and how this person or situation hurt you. You need to be very specific. Let me write that down. I finished my first part of my notes. I didn't finish all of them. Write this down. You need to be very specific in what has caused you to be hurt by this person. Our second one is awareness. Awareness is the time where you are more alert to your feelings, belief, or mistreatment. This is the space and place where you are searching for why do I feel this way, or what changed that made me feel this way. This is also where you can focus more deeply into what you feel. The reason I have this lesson structured in such an odd way is I had to go through these painful phases that I didn't even realize until I sat down and started writing it down. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I was just writing and journaling and doing my notes as I usually do. And when I started to write this down, I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly how I feel. Like it was just an amazing feeling for me to better understand. I went through a phase of recognizing, this is what happened that made me feel, or what I suspected, or this person, doesn't really seem to like me or something. And then I had to go into the awareness of, how is this person showing me that they dislike me, or what are they doing, or, it was like I had to pay attention in more details of the way this person's treating me and how this was, affecting me. Because when you really care about somebody, love them that much, I really, oh my gosh, love this person with all of my heart. Love, and this may sound silly to you guys, but love does blind you sometimes. And love sometimes makes you see things that you don't want to see because you're happy. And so the awareness stage for me was, because recognize is going to be level, let me put my notes, level 1. Level 1 is at the bottom of the stairs. Awareness is going to be level 2. Understanding is going to be level 3. I'm numbering these, taking notes as I record this. And then number 4 is going to be a process. When you really start to become aware of how this person feels about you, or how they treat you, or things they say to you, you can't unsee it. And then you can really start to kind of, it's like, I don't know, many of you have, a lot of times with some of the work that I do, I have to do like strategic, specific organizing of like medical supplies and equipment, and it has to be stored a certain way, and I have to, like, there's a strict, process of how you do this and how, things like that. And so I'm aware that these specific things have to be kept in a certain, condition. It has to be in a very specific, cool place. When I'm putting medicine away, it has to be a certain way, or it has to be done a certain way, or it has to be given or administered a certain way. And so when you're aware, you start to notice and see things that you didn't notice and see before. So awareness, I would also say that you need to be courageous. You need to be courageous. Because once you see it, once you're aware, you can't unsee it. Okay, courageous. Okay. Excuse me. Number 3, understanding. Understanding is a moment that you are piecing together this complex puzzle. You can now kind of evaluate and assess what happened in this relationship, or why did the person treat me this way. Another option is to look at yourself. What did I do to contribute to the situation happening to me? And then if you have assessed everything and did not find any clues, hints, or obvious things, then you can also understand that this may be time to let go of this special someone, and that things just happen. So under understanding, you're looking at this from, I'll call this is the why point of view. The why point of view is basically the 2-road view, for to make it easier for you guys. You have road 1, so I'll put option 1, road 1 is, tough this out, because this is our natural instincts as human beings to just hang in there, it's going to get better. But option 2, road 2, you have, maybe it's time to just let go and move on. You decide what is best for you. And before you make this decision, make sure you have thoroughly thought this through. Sometimes you'll know, no, it's time. I just know it, I feel it. I call it a sixth sense, intuition, discernment, however you want to say it, but sometimes you'll just know. I've had a few of those, and there's times that I really needed more time to really see and figure this out. But under understanding, you're just trying to help yourself better handle this experience, but understand that you can do everything right in a relationship and love that person with everything that you have. And sometimes things just don't work out. And it doesn't mean that your love was not good enough. It doesn't mean that you didn't do good enough. It just is time to let the person go. It's just time to head in a new direction. Number 4, process is the time where you learn from this experience and you're taking the time to look internally at your actions or thoughts. You can also use this as a reflection moment that even if you did everything right, sometimes people do not see how much you care. And then process can also be a time and a place where you accept or acknowledge that this relationship is slowly dwindling down and that it's okay. Process is, your goal for process is to face what is happening and handle it the best you can. You may not understand or know why this happened, or what caused this to happen, but there are things that you may not have seen in the relationship, or things that have happened, or things that were said that you may see now that things have changed. Sometimes in important relationships, when things change, you don't see it until you step back. It's like you're watching a movie, your eyes are glued to the movie, every little detail you're paying attention to, but when you pause the movie and you go get some popcorn, we do a lot of movie nights of popcorn, you come back and they're like, oh, I didn't see that before, and I watched this movie dozens of times. It's that exact same analogy. The same analogy, I'm going to put that down, it's actually a really good analogy. The same analogy when watching the same movie over, when you pause it, you see something you didn't see previously. That's actually really good, I like that. The goal behind processing is to just face it, and face it the best way you can. So processing is you facing the reality and, doing the best you can. Alright, number 5, life experiences. So now we're on level 5, we're going up. Life experiences, this is probably one of the ones that I want you guys to focus on the most. Not to in a controlling way, but I mean, this is the one that I have been wrong before. And it humbled me when I realized that even if a relationship is gone, you can rekindle, you can, improve things. It doesn't always have to be that this is it and it's over and it's done with. But only if both of you are willing, committing to bettering this relationship. So life experiences is the time where you face what happened and move on so the healing process can begin. But you have had experiences before where anything is possible, and you keep an open mind that rekindling this relationship, when things get better, change, or improve. And this is where you are relying on wisdom of life experiences. If you, and basically what I want you guys to consider is, just because something looks terrible, and this is a perfect analogy, just because something looks terrible right in front of you does not mean that it is always going to be terrible. This is also an illusion. So a prime analogy, an example of this is, okay, I had this, bad experience at work, right? So bad experience at work, right? And that experience was really like, wow, for me, eye-opening. But then, at the same bad experience at work, a few months later, the other side of the coin is I had an amazing experience at the same job, work. It's like an illusion. Another analogy that, we can use is one of my favorite ones is I work out 3 times a week, which is actually my work schedule, how much I work out now. I work out 3 times a week, and I feel the exact same, right? But when I check the scale, it's actually based on true story, my actual experience, I lost weight. I was like, whoa, awesome. However, the catch to this analogy is I didn't feel any different, and nothing seemed to be different, but something was different. That's the perfect analogy. Love it. Oh my goodness. I was trying my hardest to find a better way to explain this illusion part to you. But under life experiences, the goal of life experiences is that some relationships are worth fighting for, and some you need to do the right thing for you. That is the whole goal of life experience. This one is one of my favorites because I've had this happen on both sides of the perspective. I've had some relationships that I rekindled or that became a relationship and I was like, oh my goodness. And then I have some that I'm like is not going to ever become anything, and then it becomes something. I'm like, oh my goodness, I was wrong. And I don't want you guys to make the mistakes that I made. So I'm teaching you guys, as I'm teaching myself this, I prayed on this lesson and God spoke this. But I'm also teaching you guys that just because it looks bad doesn't always mean that it's going to be bad. Let things cool off. Give yourself time, a few years. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not, it's not. But do not... Please, 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 your happiness and your peace does matter. I'll write that down. The most important point is your happiness and peace does matter. That's going to be my signature statement for this lesson, because literally that is like so true. Okay, so, and then I also wrote, in this time you can reflect on the experience, determine if the relationship is worth investment, sacrifice, discipline to forgive them, or if this relationship is one that's best to move on. And then I wrote, take your time unless you are sure. Okay, make sure you give yourself time to really think about this. Alright, so that main point 1 is kind of lengthy. For those of you who don't know, just quick information, I've had to break up my lessons into multiples because when I'm linking my notes, eventually I hope to get like another program up and running where I can just turn it into like a different format. For right now, this is the best that I can do due to my work schedule. But when I'm linking my notes, I have gone over the allotment space when uploading, and so I've had to put half my notes in, do a second episode, record a second episode, and then do part 2. So if there's a part 1 and 2 to this, it's not that I intentionally try to do that, it's that I can only put so much information into the description at a time. Alright, so now we are going to part 2. I'm going to try and get as much done as I can. My time is almost up. Sorry for the background noise. So main point number 2 is secrets of forgiveness. And then main point number 1 is the beginning of forgiveness. I forgot to mention that, sorry. The beginning of forgiveness. So main point 2, the stages of forgiveness. Loving someone again. So in my situation, this special someone, how did we get to this point of forgiving one another? I would say that one of the top things that this person did for me is they kept loving me. And even when, like, basically, how do I say this? I will say they kept loving me. The love that they showed never changed. Even when we were not talking at all. That was one of the most profound moments for me, that this person deserves my love. So that's the next one. So this is also going to be part of your homework. How did we get to a point of forgiveness? That's going to be a really good question. And I will say that for me, this person loving me, even when we were not close, we weren't getting along, we were, disagreeing. We had our moments of quiet where we really didn't talk and associate, and we were distant. But I just could not seem to understand why this person kept loving me even when we weren't getting along. And this person did this even when I didn't ask for it, I didn't expect it, I didn't want it. It was just like, that is just who they are. And it took me a long time to realize that that is who this person really is. So that's another one, is when someone loves you, they are going to love you until you get tired of their love. It's shocking, but I mean, that is my exact experience. So back to forgiveness. Another secret of forgiveness is, after time, I was ready to forgive them. Now pay close attention. I was ready to forgive them because I wanted to have peace in the situation and this person, because mine was a situation and a person. I had multiple issues, but I was ready. And when you're ready to forgive, you will know, because you don't want to fight and war with it anymore. You're ready to make peace with it. I felt ready to forgive. It took me a while, but I felt ready to forgive because this person means so much to me. And no matter how upset and frustrated I was with this person, no matter how upset and frustrated I was with this person, I loved them so much that I didn't want them to not be a part of my life. That is, I'm speaking honestly, I'm speaking honestly how I felt. I really, just because I was upset and we weren't close anymore and things had changed and, oh my gosh, my time is almost out. Oh my goodness. I wanted to forgive them and I wanted to move on. At the time of making this decision, which is really important, let me write this down as a note. At the time of making this decision, I did not plan on telling the other person. And what happened mysteriously, which I find very interesting, things started falling into place where we both mutually agreed to forgive each other and repair our relationship. This was a mutual agreement, a mutual commitment, a mutual decision. Nobody was forced to do anything. Nobody was, being manipulated or deceived into doing anything. This was something that we decided that we wanted to do together. And I promise you, when we both put down our ego and our pride, things started just falling into place. But there are some important things about forgiveness that I want you guys to know. And I am so sorry. I'm going to have to do... let me put a note to your record second part in the second episode. Unfortunately, I'm about to run out of time, so I'm going to have to do a part 2 episode. So I'm going to end this episode, and then the second recording, let's jump right into main point number 2. And then do the finish.